it's very interesting. There are quite a few veterans who have really seen action in our parliament, and very heroically so. You mentioned Tom, you mentioned Dan Jarvis, both of whom I knew very well, and Johnny Mercer should be remembered too for very, very commendable and brave action. And they, from their experience, I think, do bring something to the party. But I think there is a misunderstanding of the military. They're seen almost in Rudyard Kipling, Tommy Atkins terms. The number of times that poem, Tommy this and Tommy that, comes up in our weekly newspapers is really rather tiresome. And I think there was an illustration of this. Katie Balls, great commentator and columnist of the New Statesman, wrote an article about this, about the military element in Parliament. She's great on Parliament. She's absolutely lousy on the military, particularly the modern contemporary military. Very little understanding.
To give her a dues, I think it's the Spectator, not the New Statesman, unless she's crossed the floor. Unless she's crossed the floor. Robert, you mentioned the aptitudes that kind of military service allows a former service man or woman to bring to politics. What are those things? Are they better at dealing with pressure because they've seen what real pressure sounds like and feels like?
Adaptability, risk-taking. The really good ones have the humility to listen to what those under their command are saying. And this is particularly illustrative of the situation we now see in Ukraine. Where the Russians have been doing so terribly badly is because they have poor confidence in their NCOs. That means the sergeants, the sergeant majors, the corporals, on which any army runs. Now, people like Dan and Johnny Mercer and Tom Tugendhat would have lived with their sergeant majors, and they would not only been their executive officers, making sure everybody did things, but they would also be their consigliere as well, and that's terribly good. But the problem really begins to occur, I think, when you think that everything can be done by a military approach, when it's susceptible to what we might call very loosely a military solution. And actually, when the military pile in and come sorting things out, and they do things very well, as you rightly said, Kate Bingham observed this over the vaccine rollout, the civil servants go mad. They really don't like being told what their business is. But when you ask the military and to do their business, they have, if you rightly say, been very, very good. And in COVID, I think in the UK, they have been very undervalued.